This is one of my favorite landscapes. I fixed up an RV in LA and I drove it across the country and I went to Las Vegas. Worst decision of my life. I went to Las Vegas during the summer in an RV. It was like living in an oven. So I tried to head to the Grand Canyon because I figured, you know, Grand Canyon, pretty majestic. It'd be kind of awesome to paint the Grand Canyon. And I just couldn't go south. So I headed north towards Colorado, Utah. I was deciding on the way. And I ended up stopping at a rest stop just because, you know, I did driven for a while. And at night I got out, stretched my legs, walked around, and I noticed this scene right here. And the light reminded me of a sun in an impressionistic painting. And the way it was going off the trees and everything, it all reminded me of an impressionistic painting, but instead of an impression of sunlight, it was an impression of lamplight. And so I was like, cool, I'll paint it. So I got all my stuff and I found another light and I painted, and this is what I came up with. And from then on, I just went from rest stop to truck stop, painting my way across the country, which I found funny because I like the highbrow, lowbrow, casualness of my art. And to be painting truck stops and rest stops instead of the Grand Canyon was kind of interesting to me. As usual, I always think in my paintings, things remind me of people. Like this little guy standing over here is like the main character. You got the other little people standing over there. I kind of like the shadows. I like it to look real, but also have like a painterly quality. Like you'll notice the grass looks like grass, but also it's very easily recognized as paint strokes. Some people think of that as sort of like a Van Goghish part of my painting. I really just think if you use a 1/4 inch snub nose brush, that's what it comes out as. And the light is a good illustration of, I always want to, I take these pictures all the time and I want to paint them, but then I have to paint them off my computer screen, which is a big size screen, so I could do it. But see, that's the way light looks to your eye. You know, there's little sparkles here, there's flings there, there's that reddish tint. In a photo, that would just come out as dry brushed white and yellow. So that's why I like to paint, they call it open air or something. That's why I like to paint like that. And you can see, even in the dark spots, the negative space, it's quite exciting. I really like the leaves on the trees. They're impressionistic, they're brush strokes, but also they're fairly realistic capturing of what was actually there. And this little guy in the background, it was actually a bigger tree, but it was getting much less light. And then you can see the trees kind of like fade into the back. And strangely too, the pole is darker near the light. I think probably because of the way my eye absorbed the light, and lighter as it went down. And you can even see a reflection in the pavement. So this was my first of, I did some studies before this, which I'll show, but I'll probably show those as a group. I really like this one.